the question I have for you before I show you the first disc, which I'm excited about, is you are so good at the scarecrow catch.
Well,
No,
maybe.
you are. The fact that you can land one, it means that you're pretty good at it.
Okay.
And I've watched videos of you nailing it. Where do you even learn that? Did you play a lot of catch as a kid?
We played a decent amount of catch. We always did before tournament rounds. It was like a ritual thing to do because like the best warm up and fun. And I don't remember how the scarecrow started.
That's hard.
Yeah, some of my old school disc golf buddies were also into like freestyling and all disc golf disciplines really. I don't know if you've ever played DDC.
Love DDC.
Crazy Frisbee game where you it's kind of like tennis Frisbee, but if you had two balls at the same time. It's crazy. Yeah, and we've just messed around with Frisbees our whole life. I've been traveling a lot back then with them, and freestyle was a big thing. I never really got that deep into it, but the scarecrow catch just stood out to me as like the coolest looking one. So I guess I just picked that one and perfected it so I could pull it off when I needed to.
Well, I have a disc for you, and we can try some scarecrows. I asked this, or I brought this disc because I wanted to ask you a question, but this is a Whammo 40 mold from the 1970s for the
Nice.
Intercollegiate Frisbee Disc Championships.
Yeah, these are classic.
119 grams, actually is surprisingly stable.
Yeah.
John Kirkland caught up with me and saw me carrying this at the Portland Open and
Yeah.
looked at me and said, "Can you believe that I threw one of these 440 feet?" And I don't, I mean, I kind of have to believe them, but do you actually, like, what is that?
I don't know,
Like,
man.
sound
All
like to
these
you?
historic throws, and you know, there's this great Frisbee documentary. I'm sure you've watched The Invisible String, which actually good friends of mine produced and filmed, and like they made it. So I've watched it at least a handful of times. I'm actually in it for like 3 seconds. Big proud moment. And they show a lot of history about all kinds of Frisbee disciplines. Obviously distance is one of them, and just seeing the form back then, and they were doing like 360 forehand shots with these lids. And yeah, Scott Stokely, I've spoken to him a lot about past distance records and stuff, and I have no doubts that those guys were throwing as hard, if not harder, than we do nowadays.
they have
we just
to.
have, they had to, yeah. I mean, making that thing fly 400 feet, that's not normal nowadays, because the form is just different.
Yeah.
It's like a different spin and timing you need to make this fly versus a 13-speed disc golf driver.
Well, and I want to talk more about that in a second, but I kind of want to start tossing this. Are you,
Yeah.
you down?
Yes, please. It's a bit breezy out here, so it'll be interesting.
Headwind is my secret weapon with these, so I'll take the headwind.
Yes, tailwind. I like it.
I actually did not know you were so into the old Frisbee disciplines. Was that just a big thing in Germany in general?
Well, it's, you know, it always kind of depends on the group you hang out with. And when I started playing disc golf in Germany, that was like 2002, 2003, when I was getting like really into it. So I know those aren't like the old school days, but the people I was playing with have been playing at that time for like 10, 15 years already. So all those guys were really into the old school stuff. So I was along for the ride, and I actually ended up playing the overall, what's the whiff diff?
Oh, yeah.
Frisbee, that competition where they have like, I don't know, like 8 to 10 different disciplines where people just compete for all kinds of different trophies. And I think it's actually an official world championships.
Yes.
So I ended up playing that in 2012 or 13, I don't really remember. But yeah, just seeing everyone out there, some old school old timers came out and watched them do some freestyling, watching some of the most athletic Frisbee guys trying to do the throw, run, catch, the MTAs.
No way, I can't even imagine doing that.
I actually killed it at the self-caught flight disciplines. I think that's what they're called.
Oh, like MTA and throw, run, catch?
Yeah, I think I got like a 90-meter throw, run, catch, which I think the conditions we have out here right now would be perfect to try a throw, run, catch.
That's ridiculous. That's so hard. Explain to the people.
You just send a big turnover and you start sprinting after it, and then wherever you catch it, you measure the spot. I really liked it. I wasn't in shape, so the next day I was like the most sore of my life.
With that, I want to ask you about distance. You had the world distance record for what, 2 years, I think it was? You set it in 2014. And that had an 18-mile-an-hour tailwind. I was doing a little research. So you threw 863, which is ridiculous. But then you also, when Wiggins set the 1108, you threw 1030. I think people forget that you also cracked the 1,000-foot mark, but that was with what, 30 to 40 mile an hour wind?
Yeah, so I threw the world record in 2014. I think it was like in November. That was sick. Oh, that was so fun. But I threw the world record. It was actually my first throw of that set. You get 5 throws in a row, and you get 3 sets of 5 throws per day. So you only get 15 shots per day to throw a record. And I noticed that my first shot would always be the hardest or like the fastest. And I don't know, it kind of blew my mind that for a disc golf throw to come out really fast, it actually helps to not be super loosened up.
Really?
Because everything's like a bit tighter still. So I feel like going through the motions, it just snaps a bit harder. Because once you're loosened up, it's like a rubber band kind of that if you loosen it up too much, it doesn't have the strength to like shoot forward anymore. That was my theory behind it. Because I noticed that my first throw would always be significantly stronger than my other throws. Next year we go out, same place, and I became the first human on competition day 1 or 2, I don't remember, but I became the first human to ever throw over 900 feet, which basically, in my mind, was the best throw I've ever thrown in my life. I think then we had like a day of no wind at all, and we were kind of just messing around on the dry lake bed, having a good time near Vegas. And then the final day, which was a Monday, I believe, they had forecasted like up to 60-mile-an-hour gusts with like steady 30-mile-an-hour winds with up to 60-mile-an-hour gusts. So mind-blowing stuff. I think there's videos online of that final day we had. Like, we could barely stand straight. It was like we were in a freaking dust storm out there. And I think I've told the story before, but obviously Wiggins throwing this insane shot. The discs go so far you literally couldn't see them anymore. The spotters out there were just scrambling to trying to see where the discs were going, and every now and then the dust from the ground would like swirl up and you just couldn't see anything. And I secretly believe that I actually hold the world record, because one of my shots went so far and the dust kicked up kind of right when my disc was at its peak, and the disc was never seen again. It was just gone. What? And my theory is that it went like 1,500 feet and no one could see it.
What? I've never heard this before.
Yeah, we've lost a handful of discs that day because of the dust storms that were coming through. But no, I threw one, perfect gust. I threw it like basically a knife turnover as high as I could, and it just started taking off, and then dust came up like after the first 800 feet of flight, and the spotters were just like, disc was gone.
What?
Yeah, I was like, man, that was the shot. That was the shot.
That's so heartbreaking.
I mean, at that point, everything was more funny than heartbreaking. Oh, that was sick.
That would have been nice.
Can you delay?
Yeah.
Probably not with this tailwind right now.
Give me something floaty, I could probably.
It's hard to give you a floaty. Hey, that was pretty impressive. It's hard to give you a floaty one in a tailwind.
Oh, I got it, that was nasty.
I wish I had those skills. Maybe one day when I'm done disc golfing. Scarecrow catch. Oh, lucky.
That's not lucky, that's so good.
I mean, lucky that it was a first taker.
How close was disc golf to becoming just another pool or darts for you? something you got good at that never took all the way?
Never close. Disc golf was always my plan, which is kind of mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Realizing that I basically was the only kid in my country where I grew up who was playing it. But no, I just loved it so much, and it was so basic back then. We were such a small group of guys, and we didn't even have a course to play. We were literally just setting up baskets and going to random parks like here. We would make our own courses multiple times per week. And the greatest thing about disc golf was that it required no money to do it. And the other games kind of did. Disc golf, the outdoors. Damn, that is so sick. I wish I was good at this.
Hey, let's throw the glitch. Let's, oh, hang on.
Let's see it.
Here we go.
Okay.
I'm coming to you.
Wildly impressive.
I'm coming to you. Oh!
Let's go.
Catch will return after this commercial break.
Now, he made this yesterday.
For the win.
Unbelievable! James Proctor! Oh my God!
It's the putter that does it for James Proctor. Exactly how you expect it. That is so incredible.
Here we go. Special edition. Drehmoment Bremen. That's my hometown Frisbee club, disc golf
Nice.
club.
That's awesome.
And pretty cool. My main thrower.
You
Gotta
throw the
give-
glitch a lot?
I don't really throw it in competition, I putt it. Almost every round, at least there's one or two putts where it's like anywhere between like 60 and 120 feet where I can just give it like a pop like that. I wonder how this disc is gonna react to the wind. Whoa.
It's probably
Wow.
gonna be really nice. If you signed your MVP contract when you were 19 years old, how different would your life be right now?
Oh boy, that's 12 years ago. I mean, I am not 100% sure I would still be playing, at least on tour, because this is my 11th year now, and as much as I love it, I'm not sure if I would still be doing this whole touring thing, because I've just never been that guy who can be on the road happily for months and months at a time, be away from friends and family. I always needed that home base. I always needed breaks that for some reason some of you just don't need. You guys are grinders out there, living in your vans, just living the tour life on the road. Like that's just, I don't know why, but I'm just not, it's like not for me. So I don't know. If 10 years ago I would have signed a contract like this, I probably would have finished it and then moved on to something else. I would still play disc golf, obviously. I love the game. I don't think I will ever stop as long as my body can. But this touring, I don't know. I'd probably be over it. So yeah, my life would be a lot different. I'd be somewhere nice and warm, playing Frisbee for fun, not for a job. And maybe playing a couple select tournaments a year if I have to or if I want to.
This thing's perfect.
You're like the best glitch thrower ever. Like in
Thanks.
this headwind to like just float it up to me every time almost. That's pretty impressive. Catch might be one of the most therapeutic things in the Frisbee world, especially if you're playing like at a cool setting on the beach or with Austin, Texas in the background.
Yeah.
On a beautiful fall day, even though right now it's not fall, but.
Whenever you talk about things in your life, you seem, at least when I perceive what you say, it's so straightforward, it's like no nonsense, but there's like this little sense of youthfulness in there. Would you call yourself a dreamer?
I mean, yeah, I actually had an interview with another guy only a couple months ago, and I've been thinking recently about how unique my life has been, being from Germany, being a professional disc golfer, just flying from Germany to LA with this company, Discmania, that was just starting. It's a Finnish company just starting in California. No one really knowing what was gonna happen. But for some reason, I never had doubts. And maybe that makes me just a bit of a dreamer where I'm like, nothing is gonna go wrong. And it's kind of mind-blowing. I never questioned it, that this was the thing I was gonna do.
Yeah.
Like, even when I had a bad week on tour, even when I played poorly for tournaments in a row, like, not once was I like, is this the right thing for me? Not once. I was always like, it'll work out. I didn't even think this will work out because there was not that opposite thought. It was just, this is what I'm doing. Like, there
Yeah.
are no doubts ever. But I always feel like, I don't know, things will be fine. No worries.
Simon, thank you. Thank you, my friend. That was fun. $119 grams, actually is surprisingly stable.
Yeah.
John Kirkland saw me carrying this disc at
we
the
have the-
Portland. Oh, we got a little furry friend here.
The
What's up, bud?
catching device has arrived. Catching and retrieving, hopefully.
And their owner is filming the dog to get their own internet points. Hello! We love Austin.
Next time on Catch. Cat merch brings a whole new meaning to catfishing.
I used to do this thing called catfishing where I would take a piece of hot dog and tie it to a string and just like hang it over the deck, and when the cats would bite it, I would lift them up. And yeah.
I thought you meant like catching catfish.
No, I wish I've caught a catfish, I'd be sick.
Catch the next episode on January 14th on the Disc Golf Network with public release on JomezPro's YouTube channel, January 21st.